Foreign Language Skills. Module 13. 13.1.
A study shows that burglary is a big threat to our mental health. The survey is from a British charity and a home security company. It was based on 1,000 people who had been burgled. A quarter of them had anxiety or depression. A quarter felt sad to think they could not protect their home. Many people felt unsafe after a burglary. Many victims became afraid of being attacked in the streets. They were not afraid before being burgled. The British Psychological Society said people underestimate how traumatic burglary is. A professor said, "Burglary is frequently seen as a minor crime. However, psychologically and emotionally, being burgled is likely to have a severe emotional outcome for many victims who were, up to then, leading ordinary lives. People often want to move to a different house. Other people get depressed and cannot sleep. Others have marriage problems."
Module 13. 13.2.
A new report from a British market research company says there is a wave of microcrime in the country. Researchers from the organisation YouGov said they were shocked by their findings. Matthew Smith, a data analyst at YouGov, said, "Looking around you, you probably wouldn't expect that 3 in every 4 people you see are hiding a criminal past. Yet that's exactly what is happening, as new research shows that as many as 74% of British people are microcriminals, having done at least one very minor or microcrime. The most common crime confessed to by the British public is paying someone cash for services, knowing that the person will not pay tax on it. YouGov says that men and middle-class people were the most likely to commit these microcrimes. Researchers say 77% of men and 71% of women committed microcrimes. About 80% of middle-class people admitted to committing microcrimes, while the figure was closer to 70% for working-class people. The second most commonly committed crime was illegally downloading or streaming TV shows, movies or music. Slightly fewer than 30% of people said they had done this. Other microcrimes included not paying for plastic bags in supermarkets, lying about your age to get a better deal, and eating things in a supermarket without paying.
Module 13. 13.3.
A 12-year-old boy in the United States has been found guilty of murder. The child shot and killed his mother, Sarah Madrid, 34, after an argument over his chores. He cannot be named because he is still a juvenile. The court heard he was so angry that he got his mother's gun from her bedroom and shot her 8 times. Ms. Madrid's partner, Alfonso Munoz, witnessed the shooting. He said the boy handed him the empty gun after he had finished shooting. Munoz told the court he taught the boy how to use the weapon for emergencies and for self-defense. Local newspapers reported that Ms. Madrid did not get on with her son. Her sister told the court that Madrid had a quick temper and often yelled at, scolded, and slapped the boy. The future of the boy is now in the hands of an Arizona judge, James L. Konolog. He will sentence the 12-year-old on January the 23rd. Prosecutors want the boy to receive the same sentence as an adult. However, this is impossible under US law, which states a juvenile can only be held until he becomes 18. The boy's lawyer, Sanford Edelman, argued that the boy could not be tried as an adult because he was so young. Edelman said the boy did not even understand what was going on. He said the boy did not intend to kill his mother and that he only wanted to get back at her for scolding and slapping him. The judge ruled the case should stay in the juvenile court after a psychologist said the boy had suffered physical and mental abuse from his mother.
Module 13. 13.4.
It's important to know that the term crime victim refers not only to the affected person, but also to their guardians and close relatives. The first step in the juvenile criminal justice process is a preliminary investigation of the crime. For minor violations, law enforcement may simply warn the juvenile offender and release them to their parents. If further action is needed, then the case is referred to us at the Harris County District Attorney's Office to determine if there's sufficient evidence to prove the crime. Once a case has been filed, the DA's office will assign a victim assistance coordinator as the liaison between you and the prosecutor. The coordinator will inform you of your rights as a crime victim, answer your questions, attend court proceedings with you, and update you about your case. It's important to know that crime victims have rights in our criminal justice system. Crime victims have the right to be present during all public court proceedings involving juvenile offenders, subject to the approval of a judge. You can contact your victim assistance coordinator to learn more about attending detention, adjudication, or disposition hearings. Crime victims also have the right to file a victim impact statement, which will be considered by the judge in the juvenile's proceedings. If the offender is being held in a detention facility, the juvenile court has to hold a hearing within 2 working days for the judge to determine if there's good cause to continue detaining the offender. The judge may decide to release a juvenile offender back into the custody of their parent or guardian, or keep them in detention. When a juvenile offender's case goes to court, it may be rescheduled. Contact your victim assistance coordinator to receive updates on court dates and case results. Juvenile offender cases may be handled in a variety of ways. In minor crimes, formal court action may not be sought. The offender may instead be placed on deferred prosecution.
Module 13. 13.5.
Do juvenile crimes differ from adult crimes? Yes. A juvenile and an adult may commit exactly the same act, let's say stealing a car, but the justice system will treat these 2 individuals very differently. The juvenile justice system and the adult justice system have fundamentally different goals. The goal of the juvenile justice system is to reform and rehabilitate the juvenile offender to help him become a productive member of society as an adult. The goal of the adult justice system, in contrast, is to punish the defendant and protect society at large. These differing goals are evident in every phase of a criminal proceeding. For example, the adult who steals a car will be charged with a crime. The juvenile will be charged with a delinquent act. The adult may be incarcerated until the time of his trial if he cannot post bail. The juvenile may be released to the custody of his parents. The adult will have a public trial. His guilt or innocence will be determined by a jury of his peers. The juvenile will have an adjudication hearing before a judge. The judge will hear evidence and determine whether the juvenile is delinquent. In keeping with the goals of the adult justice system, the adult will be sent to prison to punish him if he is found guilty. If the juvenile is determined to be delinquent, he may be incarcerated in a juvenile detention center, but not before the judge has explored other options that might better serve the juvenile's interests. This might include counseling, substance abuse treatment, restitution, community service, or other alternative sentences designed to reform and rehabilitate the minor. Do juvenile crimes differ from adult crimes?
Module 13. 13.6.
Youthful offender. He is over 9 years old but under 18 years old at the time of the commission of the offense. Crime theories applicable to juvenile delinquency. 1. Rational choice. Causes of crime lie within the individual offender rather than in their external environment. 2. Social disorganization, absence or breakdown of communal institutions and communal relationships that traditionally encouraged cooperative relationships among people. 3. Strain theory, Crime is caused by the difficulty of those in poverty in achieving socially valued goals by legitimate means. 4. Differential association. Young people are motivated to commit crimes by delinquent peers and learn criminal skills from them. 5. Labeling theory. Once a person is labeled criminal, they are more likely to offend. Once labeled as deviant, a person may accept that role and more likely to associate with others who have been similarly labeled. 6. Social control theory proposes that exploiting the process of socialization and social learning builds self-control and can reduce the inclination to indulge in behavior recognized as antisocial. Communal institutions. 1. Family. 2. School. 3. Church. 4. Social groups. 4 types of control that can help prevent juvenile delinquency. 1. Direct punishment is threatened or applied for wrongful behavior, and compliance is rewarded by parents, family and authority figures. 2. Internal, youth refrains from delinquency through the conscience or superego. 3. Indirect, by identification with those who influence behavior because her delinquent act might cause pain and disappointment to parents and others with whom she has close relationships. 4. Control, through needs satisfaction. If all individuals' needs are met, there is no point in criminal activity. Breed vs. Jones. It is a U.S. court decision where it held that juveniles cannot be tried when acquitted in juvenile court then tried again in adult criminal court. Double jeopardy applies to juveniles as well as adults,